Hope you're having a good day. This is a Ficus Microcarpa. This is a project I've just been holding off for a little while until I had some time. I knew that this is going to be a time-consuming thing here, and school's out, so when you know, I got the time. But this was part of a much bigger clump, in that the clump was centered in this pot here, and I was planning on keeping it together. I had bought them together, and I was planning on keeping them together. I noticed that it was like declining in health and declining in health. And then one day I just said, well, I got to see what the problem is here or whatever. And I went in there and the middle was all rotted out. And so I was actually able to separate the clumps. One of the ones, the other one was a lot smaller, or one of the other, I say it was the edges of the clump. The middle was rotted out or whatever. The other edge was a lot smaller. I have that in another pot. I'll include that link in the description and everything. But this one here, I didn't really have a good training pot for it, so I just kind of put it over here. First things first, I've been using it as a, because I only have half the pot full of tree here or whatever, I've been using it just as a resting pot for other trees. This one will probably be my next video. You can see here, I've just let the escape roots go. And so I'm just going to get this guy up out of here. It'll just have to go without the escape roots for a little while. If it was in a round pot, I'd try to turn it so that it wasn't still in that, so it wasn't still in the same holes. That's one of the problems with the rectangular training pots. I do like the bulb bands. And then there's this guy here. This is a starfruit tree. It was stuck in there pretty good. Just one set of roots there. I'm not trying to make the video out of this, but I did wire this up. I brought it that way, and then this is obviously a very apical tree here because it just decided that it just wanted to grow straight up that way. All right, so I put those guys back outside. Until I repot this, I'll probably just go ahead and leave them in there. I did have the tamarind tree sitting there, but that didn't have any roots at all in it. It was about a year ago. It was one of the first videos I ever made where I cut this thing way back up top, but I did leave most of this down here. I did cut a lot of the ends off, just some of the shoots get really long. And then 2 or 3 times since then, I've come back and I've kind of cut the apex back quite a bit. So today I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut the apex. When I say cut the apex back, I've actually got to where I could almost hedge prune it and get down into seeing the structure of what's left. But every time I kind of hedge pruned it, I kind of came up. I think at one point I came down to about here. And then the last couple times I've done it, I've only gone to right there. So I'm going to go ahead, and right now I just really want to see, it's been a little while since I've even seen the trunk of this tree. I want to get in here and just kind of see what the trunk looks like and make some decisions on what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to hack away. I'll probably have to edit a bunch of this stuff out. It's going to take quite some time. got this piece right here that had gotten some aerial roots. I knew that it was, and that's actually why I wasn't disturbing the side all that much. But it was really pulling it down, straight down, like pulling the branch itself down some too. But then you can also see, up in here, there's still some of the pieces, or really where I cut it off to. Yeah, because all that's healthy now, of where the rot was. And that's why this will be the back side of the tree, and that will be the front side of the tree. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave those there, just because that's kind of pulling the trunk out from where the rot was. Hasn't really completely covered it up yet. There was a part of me that was tempted to try to get this in a little bit of a better pot right now, but kind of glad I can just kind of watch this guy as it just kind of recovers a little bit more, and maybe be able to kind of keep it clean as it goes. And then also I wanted to see, try to move it around just a little bit. First off, because it did seem like it was really leaning this way. And also, just as I do this, I can now, I can kind of gauge and I can see some things that would be really hard to show on camera, but I can see where the root ball is moving the entire amount and where it's just kind of coming up because it's been in the pot so long. And it'll give me a good idea of what I could potentially have left when I do go to bare root it. And then this is also just basically disturbing only the one side. And now that I plan on kind of keeping it a little more pruned too, that may help with a little bit of the airflow. Because I want to stop doing the prolonged periods of neglect, I want to start trying to keep track of it a little bit more. It's a handful of branches that just kind of don't make any sense. Cut it back a little bit further. This thing recovers. It really should look pretty cool. No matter what I do with it, whether I repot it soon or not, I will plan on going ahead and trying to keep it in check a little bit more. Should look great when it recovers.